Unless Congress passes $50 million in federal funding for Amtrak's maintenance and improvement projects, taking the Southwest Chief may no longer be an option for thousands in New Mexico. The Southwest Chief stops in New Mexico in Raton, Las Vegas, Lamy, Albuquerque, and Gallup. But now Amtrak is considering replacing the route between Dodge City, Kansas, and Albuquerque with buses. Last month, Senators Tom Udall and Martin Heinrich created an amendment to a transportation bill which adds $50 million in federal funding to keep the train route open. Senator Udall released a statement saying in part, quote, "The Southwest Chief is an engine of economic growth in New Mexico, linking together families, economies, and communities throughout the region." Amtrak officials say extensive investments are needed to meet federal regulations. Their statement reads in part, quote, "One thing is clear, which is that the status quo is not an option. We or others either have to invest more or make changes to this portion of the route." We spoke with several people who do ride the train, and not only are they worried about losing that option, but they're also concerned about how losing the train would impact some of these small towns in New Mexico.
Small town communities depend a lot on their tourism.
I'm for the funding from the federal government. I think that'd be a good way to go.
One of those towns that could take a big hit is Raton, not just to tourism, but also the elderly who use the trains to get to large cities like Albuquerque and Santa Fe for doctor's appointments.
The train is vital for a lot of those people to be able to travel, because in these small communities, a lot of us, we do not have the blue bus service. We do not have transportation. There's not even an Uber or anything of that nature here. The Senate has already passed a version of the bill with that $50 million amendment. The House has not. Now both versions have gone to a committee where they can try and iron out the differences. Now both houses would still have to approve a final version, and the president would have to sign off on it before it could become law. Reporting in Albuquerque, Brandon Evans, KOAT Action 7 News.